Hey, all my little freaks and geeks and sinners. How are you doing? Saints and sinners. Very tired. Very, very tired. Today we're going to be talking about Peter Connelly. He was a little boy, 17 months old. I'm starting this a little early because I'm just exhausted. And let's see if I can read it from here. It said Peter Connelly, also known as Baby P, Child A. Oh, I got the rain going, so I drowned out Beans' snoring. Peter Connelly, also known as Baby P, Child A, and Baby Peter, was born March 1st, 2006, and he passed away August 3rd, 2007. He was a 17-month-old British boy who was killed in London in 2007 after suffering more than 50 injuries over an 8-month period, during which he was repeatedly seen by London Borough of Hagley Children's Services and National Health Service (NHS) health professionals. Baby P's real first name was revealed as Peter as a conclusion of a subsequent trial of Baby Peter's mother's boyfriend on a charge of raping a 2-year-old little girl. His identity was revealed when the killers were named after the expiry of the court anonymity order on August 10, 2009. This case caused shock and concern among the public in the Parliament because of the magnitude of Peter's injuries, and partly because he had lived in London, Borough of Hagley, North London. It's Hangy, North London, under the same child welfare authorities that felt a 7-year earlier case of Victoria Clomby, which had been investigated by public inquiry, resulting in measures being put in place in effort to prevent similar cases. Peter's mother, excuse me, Tracy Conley, her partner Stephen Baker, and Jason Owen, later revealed as Barker's brother, were convicted of causing or allowing death of a child. The mother had pleaded guilty to the charge. A court order was issued at the High Court in England and had been prevented the publication of the identity of Baby P. This was lifted up on May 1st, 2009 by Justice Coolidge and sought by Hangley Council, I don't know why I want to put an L on that, to stop publication of identifying the mother and her boyfriend, and it was granted, but it expired August 10th, 2009. The Child Protection Services of Hangley and I'm going to call it H and other agencies were widely criticized following the conviction. Three inquiries and nationwide review of social service care were launched, and head of Children's Services of Hangley oh, were removed at the direction of the government minister. Another nationwide review was conducted by Lord Laming and recommendations concerning the murder of Victoria Clomby in 2000. The death was also subject to debate of the House of Commons. Um, Peter Conley was born to Tracy Conley on March 1st, 2006. His biological father left the family home a few months later in November. Conley's new boyfriend, Stephen Baker, moved in with her. Now, reading through this and watching Pat Brown, the profiler, I come across that she would flirt with men online. She always had men lined up just in case something went wrong and she needed somewhere to go. So keep that in mind. Um, he moved in with her in December. A general practitioner noticed bruises on Peter's face and chest. His mother was arrested and was put he was put in child family care with a friend, but returned home to the mother in January 2007. Over the next few months, Peter was admitted to the hospital on two occasions, suffering injuries including bruising, scratches, and swelling on the side of his head. Connelly was arrested again in May of 2007. In June 2007, a social worker observed marks on Peter and informed the police. The medical examiner concluded that the bruising was a result of child abuse. On the 4th of June, the baby was placed with a friend for safeguarding. On 25th of July, Hangi Counselor Children and Young People Services obtained legal service which indicated that there was a threshold for inciting child proceedings which were never met. Um, the caseworkers failed this child dramatically. They were fired. Supervisors were fired. It was a big mess. The trials on November 2008, Owen, 36, and his brother Barker, 32, were found guilty of causing the death of a child and vulnerable person. Um, there's no use to read this because the truth is the charges were murder, causing and allowing death of a child of a vulnerable person. Barker got life imprisonment with a possibility of parole in 10 years. Connelly had indefinite imprisonment with a minimum of 5 years, and Owen got 3 years indefinite imprisonment with a minimum of 3 years. So they pretty much are all on the street. There's only one that was not, and he may be now, and that's Barker. But I want to show you some pictures real quick. Down, down, down. Oh my God, Blackwood, you would not believe. I'm telling you, it was just a mess. Okay, this picture here, the stuff you see on his face is pudding. This is Peter Conley. So adorable, so adorable. The family put that on his face because they had beat him so bad. When the social worker showed up, they wanted to put pudding on his face so they couldn't see the bruising. What happened? Peter Conley died on August 2017, 17 months old, by the mother. Let's read a little bit about what the findings were for the agency. Lack of professional courtesy. The agencies involved with the family and Peter displayed a lack of professional courtesy. They were too willing to believe the accounts Peter's mom gave them of herself, her care, and her children, and her household, and nature of a friendship network. Lack of openness and transparency. The medical professionals did not attend Peter's child protection conference to provide insight in the severity of the injuries that he had sustained. This meant that Peter was allowed to return back home to abusive environment in which he lived. Failure to bring Failure to protect siblings. Peter lived with other siblings, though authorities failed to place them in child protection and reduce the risk of abuse to them. Poor response by local authorities. Poor response by the local authorities to protect Peter. Failure to provide proportionate response to the seriousness of injuries Peter experienced. Quicker interventions and responses were required to protect Peter. Lack of necessary awareness. Social service did not know what they were looking after who was looking after Peter at all times, and in light of this, the child protection plan, they should have been aware of who was taking care of him at all times. Impacts on the practice, working together to safeguard children, publication of the statutory guidance Working Together to Safeguard Children, 2010, which aimed to support multi-agencies working in joined-up approaches to child protection. Social Work Task Force. It was set up by the Government Social Work Task Force to make improvements in recruitment, training, and supervision of social workers. This contributed to the development of Professional Capability Framework (PCF). And this really bothers me because um, me and Beans was uh, foster parents, and she was doing meth. I told them how she was passing drug tests, everything else, and they after 2 years they were getting ready to let us adopt these children, and then all of a sudden she cleaned up for 1 month, and they started getting visitation. Within 3 months, they were back in her custody. I just hope that she was clean and did the right thing. So I don't know. Let me share the screen. We're going to look at the timeline of events on March 1st, 2006. Baby Peter was born to Tracy Connelly. On June 2006, Connelly begins a relationship with their new boyfriend, Stephen Barker. November 2006, Barker moves into Connelly's home. December 2006, Connelly is arrested after bruises are spotted on the boy's chest and by GP. January 2007, the boys returned home 5 weeks after being put in the care of a family friend. February 2007, a whistleblower, former social worker, Nervous Camille, sends a letter to about her concerns over the alleged failing in the child protection in Haringey, Haringey to the Department of Health. March 12, 2007, commissions for social inspections. CSCI inspectors meet H officials to discuss concerns raised by Mrs. Camille in the letter sent by her lawyer, which is dated 16th of February 2007. April 2007, baby Peter was admitted in Middlesex Hospital with bruises, two black eyes, and swelling on the left side of his head. Can you imagine? Like what's going through these doctors' mind? That child should have never left with her. April 1st, 2007, Austin takes over responsibility for inspecting child services from the CSCI. May 2007, after seeing marks on the boy's face, the social worker sends baby Peter to Middlesex, where 12 areas of bruises and scratches are found. Connelly was rearrested. This is a picture of him. Let me share screen again. I wasn't gonna go through all that. We've been through that. I'm telling you, this case is crazy. I watched the video. Um, Pat Brown, I really promote her. Um, this is his autopsy injury maps. I'm gonna try to read it here, so we'll see what happens. It says something out to the top of his head, gashes caused by a human or a dog bite. He had a broken back, bruises on left temple over his right ear, um, left ear ripped and coming away from his head. Something to do with his tongue, cuts on his neck, 3 bruises on his forehead, um, skin missing from his nose, bleeding around the spine, fractured shin bone, 3 faint bruises on his left shin, bruises on his left foot. Now, this is just what I can read, and that was partial with my glasses. I don't think these will be any better because it was unbelievable what this child went through. Skin was missing from his lips and his tongue. Um, I don't understand people. Like, give this child away. Why not? You know, if you don't want the child or you're gonna be that mean to it, just give it away. I mean, who wouldn't take a child? You know, there's plenty of people out here. Even at my age, I would be more than glad to have a child come into my home and take care of it. I won't let the dog hear that. Let me see what else I can share real quick. But these people were never prosecuted. Like they got minimum time. The mother's out walking around with her little latte in her hand. This gives another short timeline of all the instances. This is a picture of him. Let's see. This was a memorial. This is so sad. I'm telling you, so sad. That's the picture I want to share with you. Matthew, is that you lurking? Matthew, you've been putting on some good videos. This is a picture of him. He's just a little doll baby. I mean, I don't understand how you could hurt a child at all, much less one that looks like this, but still at all. I just don't get it. I would turn it over, but this is a picture of the mom. I didn't do very good research, or else I would have found pictures of all three of them. But that's a picture of the mom. Not all of them are her. Okay, it says a social worker was told that Connelly had a boyfriend but did not ask or request to meet him. Police who arrested and questioned her after Peter was brought to the hospital in December 2006 was with bruising that was consultant pediatrician concluded was probably non-accidental and did not ask who else was in the home or had access to the home, despite being aware of a man who was mentioned as a friend. The joint investigation by police and social services at this stage should have done more to establish the identity of the man and test Conley's assertion with a perpetual to her family and not alone with children. The report was concluded. Health Services was also criticized. A GP, I'm not sure what GP is. If anybody knows, put it in the chat. Um, a GP who saw Peter in autumn 2006 should have been more concerned about Conley's claims that he was bruised easily and later reported had fallen downstairs, which should have told the health visitor about. Hospital doctors at the time were too willing to believe that Conley's explanations of her son's injuries, the report said. Um, they believed her too easily. I want to take a look at her behavior. Her behavior, one, this is her blood child. Her behavior would be there's trauma in her life growing up, and I'm not making excuses by any means at all. But it just seems like that something's went on in her life, in his life, and the other guy. I don't understand. You know, trauma or not, you don't mistreat a child. I don't understand it. Um, let me see my notes here. He suffered horrendous physical abuse, a broken back, fractured skin bones, damage to his head, blackened fingers and toes from cigarette burns. He was missing fingernails, cuts to his neck, and loss of soft tissue and rib fractures, and there were more than that. Agency should have done more to prevent death. A serious case review of a 17-month-old could and should have been prevented if professionals had done their job. Workers were completely inadequate. And it was Jason Owen, Stephen Barker, and Tracy Conley. I want to know why the dad didn't step in. Did he move out of state? Was he not there? I mean, where was he at? Why didn't he step in and do something? But this is the tragic case of Peter Conley. I've got one more case coming up that I'm going to try to get in the next couple of days. Um, it'll probably be way earlier in the day next time. I still got to eat and take off my makeup and try to get beans off my side of the bed. I don't know if y'all hear him snoring or not. You'll see me hit the bed and trying to get him to quit snoring. But thank y'all for joining me. Thank you, Blackwood. I appreciate it. And you getting in there and scooch up with the little pups. And I will talk to you later. Thank you all. If you're new, go subscribe, hit the like button. And if you're not new, welcome back. Thank you for coming. And I will talk to you later.